took control of that game one. Now we're straight into picks and bans of this game number 2, and it's going to be already first phase complete. We got the Wukong for Wei this time, the Ari for Tongyuan again, and the Xayah for LP for RNG on the blue side. JDG on the red side, however, we'll have that Aphelios and the Annie and the Kazakhs for Kanavi.
Already some worries coming in from RNG by my eye, because when you're playing against Knight's Annie, best Annie in the LPL, one of the best in the world again. You can say that about a lot of champions here for JDG and their players, though. They're really good. That's likely a winning lane versus Tanyuan and Angel, despite the fact that, not Angel, Tanyuan, Angel the last series. It's just the Ari on the mind, man. But when you have the Ari in that lane, last game, it was great because you had the Poppy to gank early. I don't think you're going to have that again. So you're likely having winning mid lane priority from JDG, and having Kazakhs being able to play around winning mid lane priority is very dangerous from RNG. Annie's going to be a flank threat later into the game. Kanavi's going to build up that Umbral Glaive to deny vision, get Fog of War for Knight to start performing in. RNG, they need to be very careful that Kanavi doesn't get to chokehold the map and put it into darkness very early on after that first item.
And I just have to point out that, like, the man has that kind of performance on Wukong in game number 1, and they just say, let's dive deeper into this. Give you Kazakhs. Let's see what you can do. Can you go 30-0? Let's see what happens. At this point, Kanavi will have that absolute resource allocation here on the Kazakhs, trying to get ahead in the early game. Now, we did get through the second phase of bans. We had the Gnar ban, which is honestly rightfully so towards Breathe. The Nautilus ban as well. On the other side for RNG, we had the Gwen and the Thresh ban there. It is an insta-lock-in of that Rakan for JDG.
Yeah. So we see the Gwen ban. That means the Scion's coming through. Interested now if we're going to get the Gragas last pick for 369. It is 369's Gragas. It's good into tank matchups as well. That would strike me as a powerful pick for them to use. Was surprised that he got the Kasansei in that first game. Often very much banned in that first round, as it is in this one. RNG, they don't have themselves a Xayah Rakan. I feel like they do need something to flip this game. There are a lot of squishies you can hook into the team. I don't mind the Blitzcrank as a pick. It gives that X factor you need somehow, some way.
Trying to find a way in here. A little bit of a hover, a little bit of a laugh from Lumao. Does lock in the Blitzcrank. So pulling out a little bit of a magic trick out of the hat here in the last pick for RNG. Just something to offset maybe a little bit of JDG's precision thinking. It is the Ornn actually locked in for 369 as well.
Okay, so the Ornn, good in the tank versus tank matchups as well. Not going to be 369's Gragas, but similar logic, tank versus tank. You're just going to provide value in those team fights and have a stable laning phase. So this game from JDG is very much about you have engaged from mid lane, top lane, and support. Kazakhs is there to help support winning lanes, starve out vision, and allow those engages to have much better angles. On the other side, RNG, they're looking to get a hook, they're looking to get a Wukong or an Ari pick before that can happen. RNG, if they let that vision go, the game goes with it. They need to be the ones making proactive picks to stop the blackout of the entire map coming in from JDG.
You got to get a little bit of breathing room, as you will. I'm going to keep going back to that one, but especially the nature of that game number 1. You just didn't have any of it. Yeah, you know, it works. It works. But I especially like some of the adaptation, that Blitzcrank pulling away the Xayah from Ruler here. I think they have a lot, especially the way that Wei performed in game number 1. I expect that kind of same stylized aggression from him on the Wukong. But like you said, it's that proactivity that you have to see. If you start seeing any lag in that, it's going to become that much more difficult. And if Kanavi in any way, shape, or form gets an advantage on this Kazakhs, it's going to be a detriment to RNG's faithful.
So, JDG, they open up their new home arena. Plenty of seats in there to fill, and with games like this, games like Game 1, I'm sure their fans will be flocking to fill those seats. RNG, previous MSI title holders, looking to snap back against the current ones. He is, and again, trying to upset Ruler if you can do at all possible. Got to shut this guy down. What can they do? They're only level 2.
All right, they're going to flash on the other side. Ruler getting low. Ruler, he's going to go down. First blood for LP. There you go, Lumao. You're all by yourself. Gonna have to flash to your teammates. Grabs Kanavi, who goes right back to the bush with his own flash. Ruler starting to pick away at LP. LP is all by himself. He got TPs on both sides. Breathe immediately running away as the Ornn Horde connects, and LP has used everything he had in the tank except for his cleanse, and he'll just go down. Play that we're actually gonna take a look back up now.
Okay, so this is again, the vision control, which you are afforded by good macro play, and of course the Umbral Glaive helping out a little bit in his own regard as well. Walks over a ward, JDG spot the rest of the RNG members leaving. They know the players now, and despite the hook and the ult landing, it's just not coordinated enough because RNG don't start the fight with everyone in the right position. LP flashes out, but the teleport is better from him than it is from Breathe Scion. The Scion doesn't have the angle onto the AD carry, whereas the solo laners JDG absolutely obliterate LP. You know, they are going to put that Herald in mid, probably going to take that turret, see where 369 gets to. Knight is teleporting in, they're starting to spoil for a fight.
JDG wants it. Knight coming over. Lumao caught out. Can't get the hook anywhere he needed to go. Yeah, the re-engage down by Wei. The Feather Storm did come out as a safety net, but Wei is chunking him down. Tonguet can't get the reset there. Wei going down to Ruler. Breathe on the other side. It was LP who picked off Missing, but it's a flash from 369, and he secures the kill here in the end. It was a double kill for LP of RNG, but still Ruler perfectly comfortable in the situation he's in.
Onto a couple of folks on their own right. But okay, let's have a look at how this sets up because there's teleports committed. There's the counterpunch to the Herald. First, the hook misses. Even if that hits, I'm pretty sure it's a pretty bad situation. You're still going to get engaged onto by that Rakan. Blitzcrank completely out of the fight before it starts. And even with the good engagement from Wei, again, you can see the difference between these team fight compositions. One has much more ability in the extended fights beyond the first pick, especially with the Felos, Rulers of Felos running over the fight. This is about as good as it gets. You just don't have the same tools to have that continued DPS. Oh, that's kind of bullshit.
No! I was wondering how Knight went down. Nice little feather pull.
I was like, oh, I was watching one side of the fight. Surely Breathe hit with a Q. It's like, no, just doesn't look at the floor. The floor is lava, literally.
Literally, the floor is feathers. Oh, Charm goes a little bit wide there. Kanavi and the rest of JDG able to get out. 369 was on a bit of a flank here. He does not have the ultimate, though. RNG are committing to this position.
They are. This is really dangerous from RNG. Ult from 369 just about to come up.
Okay, Missing goes golden. He's buying time in the pit, though. It is going to be Tonguet who secures the dragon. On the back, though, Knight has already found LP, and that's striking at the heart of RNG. It's also Ruler picking apart Wei, and the rest of RNG have to run away.
369 doesn't even need to ult. RNG, they get the dragon. That's something for them, but they're giving more and more gold over to JDG. Feels a little bit reminiscent of that first game. Occasionally RNG would take a good fight. They would occasionally take themselves a neutral objective through a steal, a flip, or whatever, but they're still falling behind to the carries of JDG. And now as soon as we're getting to the next couple of minutes, Baron's on the table. You give up a Baron, this game is as good as done.
JDG will just run away with it. We've seen them do it time and time again. We are looking at second items on the cusp here for a lot of members of both sides, especially LP really wanting to get that second item completion. But we're going to take a look back at RNG's positioning here and how they set up around this dragon, which Tonguet actually took away.
It's so just about able to steal that one. The initial pick onto Missing is failed. The stopwatch comes through. Of course, you won't have that for the next fight. One use only on that item, but it's enough to get value out of this. Missing gets out alive, and if you have to be putting your first pick on your hook towards the Rakan instead of someone like anyone that can do damage. Let's be honest, Kanavi, Knight, Ruler, any of them are okay. Then as soon as the fight goes beyond that point, they realize, hang on, you don't have that hook anymore. You don't have the pick potential. We win the DPS check.
As JDG positioning over this Baron pit, they want to try to pull the trigger here potentially. Quickness is just waiting to get popped. The grab comes through, but it's straight onto the tank. 369 going to burn his flash. He might just go down here, and that could just lead to resets coming through for RNG. They want a front-to-back fight all day, and they're starting to take it. Tonguet gets the first kill for him, and now Lumao overextended. He just gets taken apart by Kanavi. JDG are now on the front foot.
Because RNG, they get some good kills. Great. Use the hooks, use your ability to find those picks, but you got to get that damage down at some point. They can't go towards the Baron. There's too much threat available left on the board. Knight still has flash!
Knight's huge! Knight decisively takes out RNG over the wall. Ruler in a 1v1 against LP. He'll find his solo bolo. Again, you just cannot step to this man in this league as he dominates every single time he hits the rift.
There is an inevitability about Ruler, which is so exciting to watch. He takes over the fight again. It will lead to the Baron and JDG. When one of them falls, there is another superstar carry to pick up the pieces. JDG once again in control.
The multi-headed, threatening Hydra that has become JDG. off of their MSI championship. There were questions of how they enter this gauntlet of a summer split, but they have seemingly answered those. Even if they drop games occasionally, when they can execute like this, even in these situations, you know it's going to be a good time.
It's a bit of an awkward start, of course. 369 kind of caught between the Scion Q and, of course, the wall. A bit more difficult than the rock in the hard place. Ruler's not able to do damage for most of the start of this fight. And I think RNG forget about that. Lumao tries to get a pick onto one of the carries, doesn't quite land it. And it doesn't matter that you've taken down the front line at this point. Your ultimates are gone, you don't have the same threat, and Knight
here
pounces. He still had the flash after all this time. JDG, I think one of the most impressive things, I mean, Kanavi's died in picture-in-picture. I've talked about that one at least.
Okay, we're looking back at the game now as Kanavi is dead. There is some pressure from JDG on top side with this Baron buff to take this down, but Knight dies to the tower. And things are starting to fall off the wheels here for JDG, but luckily Ruler sets it back up and puts the wheels back on.
He just hops on a trade on the way out of there. Like, guys, kill the tower. I mean, it heated up already. I don't know if someone had dropped aggro, but Knight takes way too much damage despite the upgrade.
Look at that smile.
He knows exactly what's happened there. But JDG, they're going to walk away with the Baron buff still on most of their team, at least on Ruler. Wait, it's actually just Ruler now. Everyone else had died, I'm pretty sure. I don't know whether they had taken it after... yeah, I mean, Kanavi dies again. This is a bit of an awkward one. So they see them walking in. I think Kanavi is just a little bit too... I think he's just a little too confident when he has the Edge of Night. Doesn't manage to get hit by the hook, but he'd already used the flash in the previous fight, so he doesn't have the ability to disengage completely. And what the heck happens here, folks? Leandri's Tix ends up giving it to Knight, gives it to 369, who leaves aggro, who gives it back to Knight. That is just that to me, to you, to me, tower aggro, and Knight ends up bearing the brunt of that one.
All right, we got 3 items completed for LP. We got a fight brewing that RNG seemingly want to take. They are starting up this dragon right now, and JDG are looking to fight them right back. Got engaged from 369. Knight's looking for the big flash play. Everybody's getting low for RNG already. Moonlight Vigil connects from Ruler, and here comes the combo as it ain't stopping anytime soon. That's a huge moment for JDG as a triple kill came across for Knight. It's now a dragon.
There is a moment in every game which JDG asks you the question, are you willing to fight? Most of the time, the opponents don't have an answer. It's here at 28 minutes in this game too, and RNG, they have fought valiantly. They've asked questions of JDG, which have had some merit to them. Ruler's gone, Knight's gone. Knight is teleporting back.
He's back.
Maybe they're going to outplay this.
Oh? Tong Yuen, be a little bit more careful. There's the unstoppable onslaught. Knight's waiting over the wall with the flash tippers play. They want to find the big group up. There he is! He was waiting in the wings, but it might not be enough in the end. Mystic trying to get over here and help him as JDG just throwing themselves at Royal Never Give Up.
Probably just a little bit too much at that point. Knight does get himself a flashy kill onto the AD carry. It means that Ruler is the only AD carry here. He's
Ruler
got DPS.
does a lot of damage, man. Ruler does a lot of damage, and he's just gonna take out Breathe. Oh, he falls. The combo of Mystic and Ruler looks so damn good.
1 and 6. Ruler is such a pleasure to watch. RNG, they again forced JDG into an objective fight. But JDG, they're just set up for the engage. And this time, 369 gets to get his second part of his ult. He's been denied it most of the time. But the combo comes from the heavens like a holy rain. And RNG, they are absolutely torn apart.
Those first couple Infernum shots, just setting it up, was doing so much already. And then we see Lumao getting caught out here. But this is where JDG overextended, and the play call from RNG actually came up clutch.
So, 369. And Kanavi caught alone behind enemy lines. It gets a little close. I wonder if Kanavi could have just chosen to dip at some point. Right here, he has himself his flash, flashes out the Scion Cube, but he just sticks around a little too much. I think him and Knight realize they have damage. It's just about how they arrange it. If Knight catches Tango and LP in that combo, maybe that could work out. Maybe if you kill both those carries, he can work around to a second rotation. It was a close run thing. Doesn't get it done. JDG still in the advantage, still on the map.
JDG now trying to find a pick. Oh, Lumao with a nice little grab, and 369 is just gone all tanky he can be. He will still be the primary focus. And while the tower goes over to Ruler, it's a nice little fight back from RNG for now. Maybe Wei looking for a bit of a wraparound. Again, you step to Ruler, you have to be up to the task. Can you do it? He has so much healing, but there you go, you caught him! Kanavi, you're all alone! Nobody's isolated for you now, and RNG are making something out of nothing here, as they will end up catching Kanavi as well. By this JDG squad, and we'll take a look right back at what you were talking about.
So this is a two-part thing, right? Hook over the wall, awesome, and they managed to actually DPS down the front line while there's no one in position from JDG to DPS. Then the real game-breaking, the fight-breaking engage happens just after this point. Watch Wei and watch Knight. He has his stun available, flashes over the Rakan, W's to the side of the Tibbers, and gets onto both carries. Wei is one of these MSI title holders. He's got to do it again, though. Once this event is going to go.
Okay. Wei's gone. He's not here in the pit any longer. Trying to get in there. Tangyuan, and he... What?
No! Gets it!
Wei! All right, Breathe is back online. It is a full-on 5-on-5, but these are the moments that JDG have thrived in recent memory. They're looking to put the final stamp on this. They're trying to take a 2-0 easy night to improve to 5-1 here in the summer split, but RNG do not want to give up. They do not want to give another moment over to JDG. Things are collapsing around them. The walls are starting to close in, as we'll see if JDG want to actually try to push this. There's a couple more super minions coming in from mid lane, but they are hesitant here.
Lumao is positioning for a hook, got rid of Kanavi's spell shield with a smite. He hooks in the Ornn.
That's full build for LP as well, so he's got the GA, so they've got a little bit of breathing room in terms of the play around LP. Tangyuan going for it, can't find Ruler. Ruler pulls that Gale Force. Here comes the engage, though, from 369. Wei's clone tanking up a decent amount. They're focusing on the minions here, as least trying to get away from the turret. That's the Featherstorm out, though. They got Knight. They might have this. Wei goes to GA now. LP needs to be the difference maker. Can he step up to the moment? He has nothing left in front of him. Tangyuan can find a big charm, but he can't do it. Nexus Tower down, and JDG, they're putting the end. They're trying to get it. There's the feather call, but it's not going to be enough because you step to JDG again and have no answer. 5-1 are JDG.
Royal never gave up, but it was not enough. The heroics could not see them to a game 3, and JDG reminders in the most flair-heavy of fashions why they are one of the best teams in the LPL and in the world.
Go ahead and give some rightful handshakes there, though. RNG would not give up, as we've said multiple times. It was Wei leading the charge on that every single time, it felt like. And having, honestly, a great series, even with a 2-0 loss, there is just that conversation of trajectory, right? RNG, they're building. They're building up to something. They found pieces that they like. They're trying to find pieces to add to that. JDG found exactly what they needed to in the offseason of 2022,